Okay, Cooley Singh, the gauntlet has been thrown down. You keep telling me Sunny Deol's a better actor than I think. Well, we're about to prove it right or wrong. Okay, now I got to set the scene for some of you new maniacs out there. There's a maniac, Cooley Singh 3378, who has, if he wasn't number one, he was probably number two subscriber to my channel. He used to watch the old show I used to do and was one of the first on board for this new channel that started a year and a half ago. And great advice, helps me out a lot, got me into song reactions and trailer reactions, has been a great supporter of the channel. One of the areas where we go at it a little bit, and I say go at it in a nice way, um, I always talk about who I think the best actors are in Indian films that I've seen. And I put Amir Khan number one, although to be fair, lately he really hasn't been number one. But if you look at his body of work and the films that I've watched, I think he's brilliant. Um, Recently, Fafa, who I think is amazing. Nawazuddin Siddiqui, who again, incredible. Amitabh Bachchan, you know, uh, Mohanlal and some of the stuff I've seen him in, I've really liked. But I've never put Sunny Deol in that category. Like Akshay Kumar, I love all his stuff. I don't put him in the same category as the actors I just said. Doesn't mean I don't like them. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy their films. I do. But when I think of like the five best actors, they don't make the list. Now, what Cooley tells me is, and he's recommended films to me, that I'm not watching the right films. Now, I will say that I think maybe there was one I wasn't crazy about, a film with Sunny Deol. First of all, the guy's action personified, right? Man's man, macho. I've loved all the movies I've seen with him. I haven't thought, wow, what a great acting performance. I haven't thought that. I love his characters. I love the way he plays it, but I just didn't feel that way. So Cooley keeps riding me on this, saying I'm missing the boat on Sunny Deal. So what I did was I Googled 10 best performances of Sunny Deal, and they gave me a list. Some I had seen, but one I hadn't seen. And I don't know Cooley because he recommends Sunny Deal movies all the time. So I'm not sure if he recommended this one. But the one I picked out of that list was 1996's Jeet, which I looked up Jeet, and I guess it's some kind of ethnic slur. Okay. This film was directed by Raj Kanwar. It stars Sunny Deol, who I've seen in a ton of stuff. Most recently, Border 2 and Jaat, but I also saw Ghayal, which was recommended by Cooley. Salman Khan, who I did not know was in this film, a very young Salman Khan, who was in Bajrangi, Bajan, Sultan, EK the Tiger, amongst a ton of other films I've seen him in. Karisma Kapoor, who I recently saw in Dining with the Kapoors. But this was in 1996. A good looking woman. Do I think she's a great actress? She was a little, well, I'll get into it, but she was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I don't do research before I watch the film. Tabu was in this, a very young Tabu. Now, there's a musical number she does, her introduction. At first, I didn't know it was her. And then I was like, that kind of looks like Taboo. I wonder. Now I look down. Sure enough, it's Taboo. Now I've seen Taboo, the older Taboo. When I say older, my age. Okay. Recently, I've seen films with the young Taboo. She was a good-looking lady. Okay. Now, do I think her acting chops were the same in '96 as they are in the later films I've seen? No, I think she's one of the best Indian actresses there is. But those films didn't really showcase that. Although Magpul she started. I started to see that in Magpul, but this one not really. Amrish Puri, who, gee, what role do you think he's playing? You think he's playing the bad guy? I got to talk about him too because his costume was pretty funny. Gadar, E.K. Prem Katha, Indy 2, Temple of Doom, Badshah, and finally Johnny Lever, who I recently saw in Fear by Dil Ha Hindustan, Race and Ahsoka. Now, before I begin I did a little background information. I got to put up a disclaimer for those of you who are
Danger,
new to
Will
the
Robinson.
channel.
Danger.
I'm not
Don't
a
Will
huge
Robinson.
fan of
Danger.
1990s Bollywood cinema. There have been exceptions, but for the most part, I don't like the look of them. I don't like the sound quality. I don't like the picture quality. I think some of the sets look a little stagey, and they're very soap opera ish, with heavy-handed musical cues, and the camera zooms in with reaction shots. You know, da da da, a lot of crying, a lot of watery eyes. So I'm just telling you up front, and Cooley knows this. Okay, so I also want to explain that when I went into this, I was more focused on Sunny Deol's performance more so than the film itself. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. There was a song in this called Yara Oh Yara, where even when I was watching, I was like, well, that's like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz dancing. Sonny Deal's great in action. I don't know if he's that great a dancer, but I guess the choreography and his stiff moves became a parody, and people made fun of it. This film was inspired by 1988's film Ruck Rucksat. Karisma Kapoor's parents, Randir and Babita, starred in a movie with the same title 24 years earlier. And this film in 1996 was the third highest grossing Bollywood film of that year. So this was a big hit. So let's talk about the story. And look, I don't have to do a huge synopsis of this film. It's a pretty simple story. You've got an assassin who works for the big bad guy, and you know the big bad guy is Puri, right? Okay. Um, and he's and Cooley, the first half hour of this film, I was like, this is one of his top performances because it was like one note the whole time. The angry man. Um, Tough, right? But always, making that screaming, all that stuff. So I was like, oh, geez, Cooley's going to be disappointed because I'm not overly impressed. Now, as the film progresses, so he's working for a big bad guy. He's a hitman, and he's got some like he's got this gang. They were kind of funny actually. Um, well, he meets one of the victims. He didn't kill him, but he was a witness to something he did, and he goes to his house to beat him up. And the daughter stops him, played by Karisma Kapoor, and her name was Kajal. And as soon as she stops him, and this is what I mean about 90s Bollywood cinema, he stares at her, doesn't say anything, stares. Then she stares at him. He stares back. She stares back. And then he walks away. Now he's in love. He loves this girl. He loves Kajal. And he he ends up stalking her. So every time she looks, he's there, and he's got that real, like, that crazy, wide-eyed, I'm going to kill you look, even though that's not what it was, right? He was in love with her. He just wanted to see her. So there's a scene on a bus, and again, the action scenes were great. There's second to none with the action scenes. I look at some of those actors that I talk about, and I can't see him doing this role. Okay, but there's a scene on a bus where Kajal is on the bus, and some hooligans, some ruffians, try to mess her up, and he saves her. Oh, here's the other thing. You can tell he's got a heart of gold because at one point this little kid called Time Pass, that was the kid's name, Time Pass, cute kid by the way, is working at a bar or something, and some guy slaps him around. So Sunny Deol's character knocks him, you know, big fight, and finds out the kid's an orphan, no father, no mother, same as his character, um, which I didn't say, Karan. So he takes him in. So he took this boy, brought him with him to his place that he lives with all his hooligan friends there. So you know he's got a little bit of a heart of gold. So now they're on the bus together, and this fight happens, right? Well, they want to arrest. Oh, by the way, I'm jumping around. Kajal's father gets the cops to arrest Karan, who they know is a known thug, and they put him in jail and beat the crap out of him. I mean, like sticks, and they're hitting him in the stomach, and he's got welts everywhere. And after this bus thing happens, they arrest him again, but Kajal says, "No, no, he's innocent. He protected us." And then she apologizes because she sees he's all banged up, and he's got that look on his face because he loves her so much. Um, so this is where, for me, his acting, because it cuts to he's all cleaned up because he had fairly long hair. He had kind of a 5 o'clock shadow. He cut his hair. He's wearing really nice clothes. He looks like a completely different. He's smiling all the time. Him and the little kid, because the little kid tries to set them up. Um, and that was really cool because it was like a completely different character, and it was much lighter than anything that I've seen him in. And the joy he showed as he's falling in love with her and she with him, and that goes on for a while. And he's cute with the kid, and everything's going well. And well, then it ends up that the father had, and this is when Salman Khan comes in, 45 minutes into the film. He's the son of a businessman who works with the big bad guy, who Kajal's father said, "You're going to, arranged a marriage between Salman Khan's character, who is Raju, and Kajal." Okay? Stay with me on this. So he's introduced, and he's young, energetic, again, very young Salman Khan, but full of energy, right? And so their marriage has been arranged. Well, now Kajal gets a father alone and says, "I love somebody else. I can't marry him." And they have a little fight. And I saw this in another movie, and I can't remember which one it was, but he has a heart attack right there. Now they're in the hospital. Now, the thing about Bollywood movies I've noticed, when someone goes in the hospital with a major heart attack, they usually have all kinds of stuff hooked up to them. Not in this film. The father's lying there out of it, but not hooked up to anything. Now she's crying, and she says, "I feel terrible about this. I'll do whatever you want. I'll marry him." So she's going to marry Raju so the father won't die. 90s Bollywood. And Salman Khan's character finds out and confronts her and the father. And that's when Kajal turns on him because she loves him, but she wants to protect the father. She wants to make sure the father's going to be okay. So that's why. Now he leaves angry, obviously, right? In fact, there's a scene where I was it the wedding? I don't know if it was a wedding or was the engagement. The groom is riding a horse and he's got the thing down his face, and he pulls out this desert eagle. That was another thing about this movie that annoyed me in the sound design. When they shoot, the guns don't make the sounds they require. Desert Eagle is a two-handed boom. I mean, it's a big gun. But he's all upset. He points the gun at the groom, shoots him, and then Kajal confronts him, and she goes, kill me," and he's pointing the gun at her. All of a sudden, it fades, and he was imagining that he's sitting there with a gun, but he didn't do it. Okay, so now he goes and drinks at the brothel where Tabu works. The brothel, and she loves him, by the way. Tabu's character, Tabu, who plays Tulsi. Actually, it's Tulsa Bai. Now, the next 40 minutes or so are Salman Khan and Karisma Kapoor's character actually falling in love. Genuinely. They care about each other. And then, Sunny Deol's not in the film for, 30, 40 minutes. Well, when he finally does come back, he's got this, and cool, you have to admit the wig was ridiculous. This, obviously a wig with the bandana, but he's back to his old ways, angry. Well, again, I'm not going to break down every little piece of the story, but it ends up that the bad guy, played by Puri, now wants the son dead and Sunny Deol's character dead. So Sunny Deol ends up becoming the protector of Raju and Kajal and their unborn baby. Now, there are some great action scenes in this film. And there's one at a dock where Salman Khan's character burns the bad guy's warehouse, but a bunch of guys show up to kill him, and that's when Karan shows up, and there's a big fight scene, and Salman Khan's doing it. He gets beat up really bad after doing some damage himself, but Karan saves him. That's great. And then at the climax of the film, they surround Raju and Kajal's house with Karan in it, and they want to ambush them. And they kill the lights. And that's a great scene. And while the scene is happening, Kajal is going into labor. So, excellent scene, a lot of great action. Then there's a big bus chase while Kajal is in labor. They end up at the brothel. They bring Kajal to Tabu's character, who's going to help birth the child, while Raju and Karan fight the bad guys. Excellent scenes, by the way. Excellent action. Bad bullet sounds. I'm not going to pew, pew, pew. It was lame, that part of it. Now Sunny Deol's going on the warpath, right? And his last, and again, intense, like intense. He's so intense in this because all he wants to do is protect the three of them. He's past her. He still loves her, but he sees what she's got, and he wants to protect that. And the bad guy, the only one left is Puri, the bad guy. His character's name was wait, why am I trying to read this without my glasses? Gajraj. Okay. So he pulls out a gun and goes to shoot Raju, and Karan jumps in front of it, takes a shot, starts walking towards Puri's character, shoots him again, shoots him. So Sunny Deol's getting shot like 5 times, but in the end is able to kill Puri's character. So he sacrifices himself to save Raju, obviously Kajal, and the baby. And as he's dying, you hear the baby cry. Okay, that's the story of the film. And the story was fine. I mean, it's not like I've never seen this before. The hitman with a heart of gold, right? It's not. So I gave the story a 5. The story was fine. What else was? There was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One, like I said, Tabu in that first song. Well, I'm going to talk about music later. I won't talk about that now. But I have to say that Puri's character, Gajraj. Have you seen the Doctor Austin Powers films with Doctor Evil? That's what this guy looked like at one point. In fact, he had the same kind of outfit that Dr. Evil wears. He's bald with a little wisps of hair on the back. He's got fake teeth and real bug eyes. But there was one scene where he just looked like Dr. Evil, and he was so, it was just so, it was just, it made me laugh. Okay. Um, um, okay. So that's it. That's the story. Now, performances. I thought, Cooley, I will give you credit on this. I thought, and I think that what did it for me was the scene where he kind of, when he fell in love and he changed who he was. So there was such a stark difference between the killer and the guy who was in love. That I was very impressed by that. I was. And his intensity level through almost, three-quarters of the film is like up here, right? And the action stuff, he's great. I've always said that about his films, with all the films I watch of his, that he's so good at that, right? And everyone raves about it. But for me, and obviously, if you look at the performances in this film, Salman Khan was good, but he was oh, how do I don't know how to say it, but he was a little too up, a little too energetic, but he's young, right? Um, but he was good. I didn't think he was great. Like, and also Charisma Kapoor, she, beautiful woman. I mean, I don't think I've seen her in anything, but she was just gorgeous. And every time, they get the fan going, like they do in these movies in '90s cinema, especially. But she was beautiful, and I thought she was good. But there were times when it was soap opera acting from her, a little too much. But this film, to me, rests on his Sunny Deol's shoulders, and he was fantastic in this. I mean, again, I'm trying to think of who else could have done this the way he did it, and I really can't think of anybody. Maybe you guys can, but I can't. So because of that, Cooley, I'm going to give the performances an 8 because of his performance. Like Tabu, who again is such a great actress. I mean, she didn't have much to do in this other than pine for him. But I've never quite seen her like that, like the ingenue, you know, the roles I've seen her in. She's not the singular love interest, and so young and so beautiful. I just couldn't get over how beautiful she is. She is still beautiful, but you know what I mean. When you go back to '96, I mean, she's young. I mean, she was just gorgeous. But I was pleasantly surprised, and she can dance too. I mean, the musical numbers were great. So I'm going to give the performances an 8, but really coolly because of Sunny Deal. Okay, so you kind of won me over on this one. Now, is there another one that you think is even better? Because I picked this one. Give it to me because I'll watch it. Okay. Now, the music, and there was a lot of music. It starts right away with, during the credits, there's a dance number with a dance troupe. They don't sing a song, but they do this opening number, which was kind of cool. Now, the second number, Dil Ka Kaya Kar Sahib, Gold Dress Taboo. I wrote that down, and it's I'm in love with him, and that's when Sonny walks in and he's thinking of who's he thinking of? It says during the song he's thinking of daughter. No, he's thinking about Kajal. And Johnny Lever shows up as a eunuch with women's makeup on. But Taboo, good moves, good catchy song. I liked it. They were all, and behind her were courtesans, all dressed in black. But it was a great musical number. And she looked, again, I know I keep saying that, and I feel like a sexist pig, but she was beautiful, gorgeous. And again, I wasn't sure it was her right away. And then I realized it was. Third song is another song by or dance number by the dance troupe, but this time Kajal was the lead dancer, so his character could look at her again. Okay. Now the fourth song. Now we're getting into love songs, right? Do Darty Pay Cha Jahan Bai, where he is imagining himself. This is before they actually fall in love. He's imagining himself in love with her and she with him, and it's on top of this hill. Um, I'm in love with you, and she's wearing these beautiful outfits, a pink sari, and then she changes pink, blue, white, and back to pink. And then at one point, the location is like this. I think it was a fort. That's what it looked like. Just beautiful, wide open spaces. It was a good number. Fifth song's a short one before he meets Time Pass. It's in a bar or restaurant. It's a very short song. Now the sixth song, another love song, Yara Oh Yara, and I guess this was a big one. After she says she loves him, and it's up on green hills, and one of the lines is, "Oh darling, what will the outcome of our love? What will be the outcome of our love?" And that's when he does the stiff dancing. Now, Cooley, you got to admit he's not that good at dancing. Okay, you got to admit that because at least not in this one. But that was a cute number. Seventh song, Abi Sans Le Lene Ki Fursat Nahim, which is I don't know if it's a honeymoon, but it's her with Salman Khan as their love is blossoming, and I don't need to see anything. All I see is you. Yeah, cute love song, I guess. The eighth song is again Salman and Kajal, San Ka Chalna. And they're dancing amongst flowers, and why am I breathless is some of the words. The thing about the music, every song was really long. And you know me and the length of these movies. Sometimes I like Duranda was 4 hours, but it flew by. They could have cut some of these numbers down to trim some of the time, especially with some of the more violent scenes. It just felt a little bit out of place. But the music was fine. It didn't blow me over, other than Tabu's number, which really did blow me over. I look at her in a whole different light, I got to tell you. So I'm going to give the music a 6. Probably would have been a 5, but Taboo is making me give a 6. Okay? Now, overall, my verdict on this film. Look, I'm not a huge fan of that era. Sound effects are lousy. Um, the sound itself is not good. The quality was not high def, and that's the only way I could watch it. The film was fine, but again, you know how I feel about 90s cinema. So I gave the movie a 5. It was okay. It had too many of the 90s tropes of the dramatic and the watery eyes. I watched this for Sunny Deol's performance, and I really thought he was really good in this. And I'm not just saying that to suck up to Cooley saying it really was. And I think if they didn't do that time span where he was changed, I probably wouldn't think it was okay because it was pretty one note for most of the film. But because of that, there was such a contrast. I thought it was super. And then at the end, when he's trying to protect, once he realizes they really are in love, that came across too. So that's Cooley. That's what I think about that. That's what I think about Sunny Deal. Okay, I'm a fan. I really am a fan. I put him in the top 5? I still don't. Now maybe you're going to show me something that I will. Maybe I'm going to do. One of these days I'm going to do a show on who my favorite actors are, not performers like Shah Rukh Khan, who I'm a big fan of. I am. I don't think he's like the best actor out of the bunch. He's a personality. The best thing I ever saw him in was Swadish. I thought he was brilliant in that movie. One of the most grounded performances I've ever seen, and I've seen a ton of his stuff. And it doesn't mean I don't like his stuff. I love his stuff. I go see it. I always want to see it, and I'm a big fan of his. But one of these days, I'm going to do a show on actors and talk about why and who I think and get your opinion, because some of you really gave me a hard time about Amir Khan versus Shah Rukh Khan. You don't like either of them, which shocks me. But anyway, that's my take on this and Sunny Deal. Okay, let me know what you think in the comment section about Sunny Deol and where I stack him up against some of the other actors. Okay, and do me a favor if I haven't already, please. If I haven't earned it already, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, and the most important thing is please share. You know, any Sunny Deol fans out there, share this with them because we're trying to hit 3,500 and we are very close. A lot of you predicted within 7 days of reviewing Durandar that I'd hit 3,500, and I think I'm 20 shy right now of 3,500, which is a big deal for this small channel. And greatly appreciate it. I never take it for granted. Okay. So that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with another movie review, a trailer reaction, a song reaction, maybe a Sunny Deal film. You never know, do you?